Well, hey, yes, girls, happy Wednesday. I hope that you've had a great week so far. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but sometimes on Wednesdays I start to think, oh, the week's starting to wind down, can start kind of taking it a little bit easier. And that is true for our everyday lives, but I don't want you to think that when it comes to this week's Bible study, because today we are heading into chapter 3, and there is so much to unpack from this chapter. I don't want you to miss anything that God has to say to you this week. So stay strong through the rest of this week as we head into chapter 3. And chapter 3 is titled, When Obedience Becomes Radical. And the subtitle says, God wants us to be willing to obey with our whole heart. You know, yesterday on the blog, I threw out the question of which one of the 5 questions that Lisa gave us are you finding the most challenging? And guys, a lot of people said it was the same question. Question number 4, is it beyond me? And I thought that was so fitting as we transfer from chapter 2 to chapter 3, that a lot of us are asking and being challenged with that question, is this really beyond me? Because sometimes we want to do great things for God, and we want to go to the ends of the earth for Him, and we want to be more and do more for Him, and we start off strong, but then we get to this place where it's really beyond our strength. And I think that's the place where we can really start to lose this obedience that looks radical. And so yesterday, I was having my time with the Lord, and I was writing in my journal, and I was praying through some situations that God is asking me to say yes to Him, and I've been resisting because it is beyond me. And so I felt that God impressed upon me this sentence, and I tweeted it yesterday, but I wanted to share it with you today. I felt like God was saying, Nikki, when you tell others about your obedience to me, is it a so what kind of moment, or is it a say what moment that they experience when you tell them that? Now, let me unpack this just a little bit, because I think we can be confused sometimes as to what this whole say what God kind of thing can look like. Because you see, sometimes we think that the big say what kind of moments are those times where someone says, God's called me to be a missionary in Africa, or God's calling me to go to the least of these right in my own community and just step out and quit my job, and kind of these big moments, these say what, you're going to do what for God? And yes, those are absolutely what radical obedience looks like. But it also looks like this. I'm going to give you an example. Say Melissa, you pick on her today. Say Melissa calls me up this morning, and she's like, hey, Nikki, how are you? And we start to enter into our normal everyday conversation. And then she says to me, Nikki, I really feel like God has told me that I need to do 6 loads of laundry today. Now, because Melissa and I are really good friends, like, I would never say this to you, but because Melissa and I are good friends, I would probably say, so what? So go do your laundry. I mean, that's awesome that God said that to you, but so? But let me flip the script for a minute, because what if Melissa called me up and she said, Nikki, I know that I need to do 6 loads of laundry today, and I am not excited about doing these 6 loads of laundry. But I feel like God is calling me to pray over every single person in my family while I do this laundry. Like, I'm going to pray for my kids' feet as I'm folding mismatched socks. And I'm going to pray for my husband's job as I'm folding his t-shirts. And I'm going to pray over my kids' sleep as I fold their bed sheets today. And what if she said to me, Nikki, I believe that because of my obedience to God and doing 6 loads of laundry and praying over that I believe that a generation is going to be forever changed. I would probably go, say what? You're going to do what today? It's going to look like what? And you see, what would happen is probably later today when I'm doing my 6 loads of laundry, I would think about Melissa, and I would think about her obedience to God and what she was doing in that everyday normal activity. And I would think, well, you know what? Gosh, Lord, if you're inspiring Melissa to pray over her family, and she believes that by folding 6 loads of laundry today, a generation is going to be forever changed, then I believe that you could do the same for me. And so I'm going to pray over my laundry today. You see, it's those situations where it's not about the task. We don't want you to feel like it's about these big things that God asks us to do, because radical obedience is in these mundane, common, everyday places. But is it a so what? I'm just going to do 6 loads of laundry today? Or is it a, say what? I'm going to do 6 loads of laundry and pray over my kids while I do it, and my husband, and a generation's going to be forever changed? It's those moments where God is speaking to us the most about obedience to Him. I'm going to place some questions right under this video blog today to help us work through chapter 3. And I just want to leave you with this thought from the last part of the Bible study from chapter 3. And it says this: we need not fear what our obedience will cause to happen in our life. We should only fear what our disobedience will cause us to miss. So I don't want to miss those places that God has for me, and I know that you don't want to either. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up, but stay connected with the questions under this video blog today, and we'll be back on Friday for another message from Melissa and I. Have a great rest of your day.